Hey, what's up everybody, it's Maya. So today's video is going to be one that I was really excited about doing, and I don't even really know why, because it's not even like that special, but it is going to be all about makeup brushes, and I kind of have a creative title for it, so I'm very excited. But anyways, so the reason why I kind of wanted to do this is because I really wanted a makeup brush video that was like all about brushes, and I actually found that from my idol, Jaclyn Hill. You can actually see her makeup brush video. I'll link it down below. But anyways, she has an amazing makeup brush video, and so I kind of wanted to do that, but kind of in a different way. In hers, she mainly talks about what kind of brushes to buy, and she does talk about like what you use them for, but mainly what kind of brushes to buy. I'm going to be kind of talking about more like what to use the brushes for, because I felt like I really wanted that kind of video when I was first starting out makeup. And even now, like, I look around for those videos like, hey, what can I use this for? What's always good? So I thought that would kind of be a cool thing to do. And yeah, alright, I guess I'll start by showing you how I keep my brushes. And so I keep them like this in glass jars, and if you see my room tour video, then you will know exactly what I'm talking about. But I have them like this. There's actually a third jar that has buttons like this. So they're supposed to have 3 stacked buttons, but that button fell off, and then the last one right here, they all fell off, so I have to put them back on. But anyways, yeah, those are like my three kind of matching ones. And then I have this tall one, which I just put washi tape on right here. It's like octagonal, I guess you could say, and it has washi tape like this. And then this one is also like octagonal kind of, and it has washi tape around it like this. So I keep my brushes in these, and yeah, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because you could have counted that, but anyways, apparently I can't count. I have 5 jars of brushes total. So I don't really know how many brushes exactly I have. It looks like a lot, but actually I feel like you can never have too many brushes, because there's so many brushes out there and so many different kinds of brushes that you can never have too many. If I was going to spend money on something, it'd probably be brushes or foundation. Yeah. So I am going to start out with foundation brushes. And what is a foundation brush? So a lot of people get confused over what to use for foundation. So I know that a lot of different people use a lot of different things for foundation, and I don't really think there's like a right or wrong one for every brush. I don't feel like there's a right or wrong brush, but I'm just going to show you some options. So the first kind that you will see a lot is this, which looks like a paintbrush. So basically, you put your foundation on your hand or whatever, you take this and you paint your foundation on your face. I do not use this method, only because I find it leaves streaks, and it can also apply very thickly and also choppily, so you don't get even coverage. But for some people, this is just exactly perfect. Like, they just want to paint it on, or if you're just using it in small areas, then you can definitely use this kind of brush. But that's what this kind of brush is used for, that looks like a paintbrush. This one came in a brush set that I got. I still need to figure out where exactly this brush set came from, because I got it as a gift and it had no marking on it. I'm thinking it might be Crown Brush, but anyways, I love these brushes. Crown Brush makes really nice brushes, and I think this might be where this is from, but I'm not entirely sure. The second kind of brush that you will see for foundation is a brush like this, and this is the e.l.f. powder brush, but I don't really think anybody uses this for powder. This is basically just a flat top kabuki brush. So yeah, all that means is that it has a very flat top like this, and you just take this and you put your foundation on just like that. Now, I have been using this for pretty much ever, for my foundation and all that stuff. I absolutely, positively love to use this for foundation. I love flat top things like this. But what I've been currently using is this, and this is the new e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush, and this kind of looks like a flat top kabuki brush at first sight, and then you realize that it has like a dome on it, like this, and you realize that it's not completely flat. Like, if I hold these side to side, they are not completely flat. And this I love. It's really great for blending in, and that's what you use this for. It's nice to blend in. I feel like it doesn't leave me cakey or anything. So yeah, these are your 3 options brush wise for foundation. Alrighty, concealer brushes. So these are the concealer brushes that I own, and there's like a ton of different brushes out there that you can use for concealer. Concealer is kind of like the most universal thing because you can pretty much use anything for concealer. But here's some different ones. This is the e.l.f. concealer brush. As you can see, it's very tiny. I would almost peg it as a lip brush more than a concealer brush. But lo and behold, it is a concealer brush. So this is very, very tiny, and you would use it to get into the little cracks of your face. I do not use this brush pretty much at all. If I was to use it, it would be for lips. I'm totally honest, it's pretty tiny. The second one is this one, and it is a little bit bigger and flatter. If you compare the two, there's obviously a big difference. And this is like the size of my pinky nail, so that's how small the other one is. But anyways, this is normally what you would see, and you would use that to kind of put your concealer, like take it on the back of your hand and paint it on. I also have one right here, which is slanted, which I think is kind of cool. I haven't actually used this too much, but that is an option. And then there's this one from e.l.f., which is the e.l.f. concealer brush. This is the e.l.f. concealer brush. So yeah, for the most part, concealer brushes all pretty much look the same. They're usually very flat and smallish. For me personally, I use my finger or a beauty blender to do my concealer, only because I feel like those are the best ways. Your finger is really a great tool for concealer because it's warm and it like helps like warm up the product and spread it around your face and blend it in more evenly than if you're using a brush. But sometimes I will use a brush. It depends. Most of the time I just use a beauty blender because it's the easiest. But yeah, those are pretty much your options for concealer. Okie dokie, so I have a bunch of like powder brushes, bronzer, blush brushes here, and I'm going to show you those. So the first one I have is just your average powder brush. Now you can find brushes like this pretty much anywhere. It's just a large fluffy brush. You use it for powder. Nothing too fancy. Basically, this is just used for powder, like I said, nothing too fancy. You can use this for bronzing if you want. I don't usually, just because it's a little bit too big for me, but if you do have a bigger face or you are good at working with bigger brushes, then you could use that. But for the most part, this is kind of kept using powder. Now, if you were to take this brush and slant it, this is basically what you would get. This is a little bit of a smaller version than that, but it is slanted, as you can see. So it's very fluffy, but it does have a slant to it. These are absolutely awesome for blush and bronzer. If you want to do like a contour without using a contour brush, then this would be the kind of brush that I would use. Because if you see, it really gives you a nice contour, and it's like perfect shape for that. So that's what you would use a slanted brush like this for. I wouldn't recommend using this for powder, only because it's kind of an awkward angle, but I mean, if you had nothing else, then I guess you could totally. I just want to show you the difference. This is also an e.l.f. angled blush brush right here, and this same thing, you could use that for blush or for contouring. As you can see, this one is a lot fluffier and this one is a lot denser, and they look smaller side by side, but in actuality they're pretty much the same size. So yeah, those are kind of like the two slanted brushes that you'll normally see. I know Sigma makes like a flat top one. I don't know if it's flat like this one. Like this one's kind of domed. I don't know if it's completely flat or not on top, but I've heard that one is great as well. Now this brush. This is from e.l.f. and it is the e.l.f. complexion brush. Now if you were like me, this came in like an e.l.f. brush set that you got and you had no clue what to do with it. It is pretty much like a powder brush, but it's flat. Like if you compare these two, it's like a powder brush, but it's kind of flat. And I did not know what to do with this, honestly. I was like, okay, this is like one of those random brushes that it says complexion brush. Like what? Like what kind of a name for a brush is that? Like what do you do with that kind of brush? And then I realized that this is ideal for bronzing, not contouring, bronzing the face, and also perfect for your forehead bronze. Oh my god, love it. It is also amazing for blush because it's just like that perfect shape to get on your cheeks. Oh my god, I love it. Yeah, that's what I use this for. I finally found a purpose, yay. But yeah, that's what I use this kind of brush for. Now I have a brush like this, which is the e.l.f. blush brush, and it's basically a flat-ish brush, but it tapers. So this, of course, is used for blush if that's what you want to use it for, but I don't use it for blush only because I don't like the taper of it. I don't know, I just don't love it. I've used it for blush before, but it's not my favorite. I use it personally for my under eye powder for setting it. Because it is angled, it gets nice in like that. And also, Jaclyn Hill uses a tapered brush, but it's like fluffier than this. But it is a tapered brush that she uses to set her under eye, and this was the closest thing I had to that. So I decided to give it a try, and man, I really, really like it. So yeah, e.l.f. blush brush, and that's what you would kind of use that for setting under eye stuff, or you could use it for blush if you wanted to. Then I have this brush, which is kind of like a small, flat stipple brush, and this is the e.l.f. small stipple brush. Yeah. So basically what you would use this for is I used to use it for my bronzer and contouring, which I still kind of do use because it is a nice shape to kind of get in there like that. You could also use this for foundation if you would like to. I have before, I believe, but because this is real hair, it's real goat hair, at least I know it's not synthetic hair, but it is real hair. It takes so much of my product, and it's pretty completely useless for me for cream products. But to use a small brush like this, it would be for foundation or bronzer or stuff like that. Nice, small awesomeness. I'm gonna move on to something really quick, which I think the entire world who has started out makeup has been wondering what the heck you use these for, and it's these, the fan brushes. Now honestly, if you were like me, you got these and you're like, what the heck do I use this for? And god, I have 3 of them, okay? 3. These 2 came in the same set, like oh my god, and then this one was an e.l.f. one. But literally it just says, this is the e.l.f. fan brush. What do you do with these? And I did not know, I just thought they were made to look pretty and look good in your makeup set. Until I found out that these are actually used for highlighting. Oh no. So yeah, basically you would take this, not this one necessarily, but you would take this and you would use it to get on your cheekbone for a very nice, precise highlight. Now since I use a cream product for highlighting, I use the e.l.f. Shimmer Facial Whip. These do not come in handy for me, but if you were using a powder or a baked highlighter, then you could dip this in and get like a nice highlight right on your cheekbone, and I thought that was pretty nifty. Basically you can get these everywhere and they're pretty useless, just saying. This brush, this is the new e.l.f. contouring brush. It looks like this. No, it is not the ultimate kabuki contouring brush. I don't know what it is, but it's that one that e.l.f. was making a huge deal about. It's like short and it has like the big fan on it. It kind of looks like this in a way, but like flat. I was about to purchase that one until I saw how huge it was. It's like that big, and I thought it was going to be a dupe for the NARS Ita brush, which people were kind of saying it was, until I realized how huge it was. And then I got this baby, which I think, I have not personally used the NARS Ita brush, but from looks and like how it works, I'd say they're pretty darn close. So anyways, what do you use this for? Contouring, it says in the name. So what you do is you take this and you dip it in your product, tap it off like that. Then you take it, I don't actually have anything on this right now, so I'm just pretending. But you take it and you're about to do your contour. I will be putting a contour video out soon. And you wiggle it back and forth like that until you have a line. Then you take this and you blend in upward motions like that until you blend out your contour. So you use this, you use this for contouring, and I love it. It's like my new obsession for contouring. It doesn't steal any of my product, very easy to clean, hasn't shed so far. it's pretty awesome. It's nice and flat and compact and all that. I mean, like, it does have a little bit of movement, but it's not like flopping over. Love, 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 love. Really like this a lot. Alright, I might as well just hold this up and kind of show you my dilemma here. These are my eyeshadow brushes. So these are all the small brushes that I have that are not face brushes. And I guess I'm just gonna start kind of with the basic thing. Everybody has seen this. It is the sponge applicator you get in like the Hello Kitty like dollar store eye makeup kit that you get when you're like 10 and you wear it around and you think you're so cool. You're like, man, I'm like a teenager. I have my sparkly pink eyeshadow on with a little bit of blue because, you know, that's cool. And yeah, this is what you get. And I will tell you, nobody else in the world except for those people, me as a little kid use this. I don't use this at all. I don't know anybody that does. I haven't seen anybody that does. But it did come in like a professional makeup kit, so I guess somebody does. I mean, I guess I could see it be useful for something, but for the most part, I don't really use this. But yeah, this is used for eyeshadow. Just saying. If you like it, you do you, boo. Alright, so I'm like picking and choosing like a few different brushes here and there because I have a lot of brushes that are very similar to each other. A lot of them are like different sizes. So these are like eyeshadow application brushes. So these are solely for putting on your base color of eyeshadow. And I'm going to show you a few different ones. This one is the e.l.f. Professional Eyeshadow Brush. And it just looks like this. Very simple eyeshadow brush. $1 at e.l.f. I saw Kathleen Lights did like a drugstore brush, or it was either her e.l.f. video or her drugstore brush video. And she said she really liked this, and I have been using this forever. Like, it was one of the first brushes I got. I don't use it too often now because I do have a new favorite, but if I don't have anything, like if I don't see that brush, then I will definitely, this will be the first thing I'll reach for. The brush I was just talking about is this one. So basically it's very, very flat. Like this. I don't even know how to do this. Yeah, very flat. Just like that. And this is like ideal for applying eyeshadow for me, especially creamy eyeshadow. This brush is very stiff, as you can see. And this is to apply eyeshadow like that. I love using this with my Makeup Lock and Seal, with my like baked eyeshadows. Oh my god. This is perfect for like creamy eyeshadows or like ones that aren't like super chalky. If something was a little bit more chalky, then I would use my e.l.f. one. Now a few other options here are the e.l.f. Eyeshadow C Brush. Now I'm not really sure why it's called this, but basically it looks just like the e.l.f. regular eyeshadow brush, so I don't understand why they're different or why they're different prices. They look almost exactly the same. I have two eyeshadow C brushes, but I just want you to look at the difference. Anybody else see the difference? They are the exact same brush. Let me just show you. Exact same brush, but one's shorter and one's longer. So this I do like for putting eyeshadow on. I don't use it that often just because I don't reach for it really, but the shorter eyeshadow C brush, which is the exact same eyeshadow C brush but just shorter for some reason, I think would be better for smudging. But yeah, these are nice compact brushes. And then I have this one right here, which is flat except a little bit poofier. It's not as flat as my like really flat one. And this is a very nice eyeshadow brush as well, just for really any kind of material. And then these last two, which are fluffier brushes. They are fluffier eyeshadow brushes. I will actually use these for blending stuff sometimes. I don't use these all too often because I like tighter brushes for really packing on color onto my eyes. But if you just kind of want like a nice light wash of color, like if you just want like a little bit of like white shimmer on your eyes, just like for an everyday look, then this would be perfect because it's not going to pack on the color. It's just kind of going to leave like a hint of it there. My friends, welcome to the insane world of blending brushes. One can never have too many blending brushes, I feel like. Like Sigma makes the best blending brushes and I really need to like invest myself into a Sigma blending brush, but I have not yet because I'm cheap. There are a couple different kinds. This one is a Soho New York brush, which I picked up, and you may have seen this in my favorites a long time ago. Oh my god. Like, kind of obsessed with this. It is at a slant. If you can kind of see it, it's at a slight slant, but love this for blending. I always use this for like my first like transition shade, my first like light brown, and then I use it to blend everything out after that. It does not steal any product, super soft, super great. You do want to invest in kind of, or get, not really invest, you don't have to invest, in a nice brush like this one that's big and fluffy. Then you have a blending brush like this, which doesn't really have too much structure. There's actually a MAC brush that looks just like this. It's in Jacqueline's makeup brush video. But this one is like longer, and that I usually use for like if I want color to be a little bit more darker, and maybe I'll use this as like I will use this kind of in a similar way that I use this, but I will use this first and then this because this is more blendy outy. If I want more precise blendy outy, it's too late for me. If I do want more precise blending, then I will choose this. I have the Professional Blending Eye Brush from e.l.f. and I do like this blending brush a lot. It is kind of small, so I usually use it for outer corner stuff. But it does shed, I will say that. But I really do like this one, which is from my Unknown kit, and this one's very, very soft. I like this a lot. Then I have this one from H&M, which is very, very stiff. I don't use this one a whole lot. I usually will use this to like pack in a little bit of color on the outer corner. Then this tapered stipple brush, I actually did use the other day to blend. And this is from the e.l.f. like stipple brush collection, which I don't love because they are all natural hairs. But this one is kind of nice shape. You want kind of a brush this shape for blending stuff. I really like it. I really like the shape of it. Now let's move on to this kind of brush, which is called a pencil brush. So this one, they basically look like a pencil. That's the only way I can describe it. These are great for blending out underneath or blending up top, like blending tiny small areas of eyeshadow. And I have another version like this, which is a lot stiffer and flatter. And then this one from e.l.f., which is actually a crease brush, but is so incredibly tiny and pointed, it's pretty much a pencil brush. Moving on to eyeliner brushes. So there's a bunch of different kinds. I'm going to start with your slanted kinds, which are also like eyebrow brushes. So I have this one from e.l.f., which is the one that I use all the time. It is the just small angled brush. I actually have two of these, and this is great for your eyeliner if you like to use a slanted brush. I also have this one, which is from an Unknown kit. It's a little bit thicker, and then this one, which is from my one Unknown kit, which I really do like. It is nice and flat. And then this one from H&M, which I don't like because if you can see, it has like a gap right here kind of, and I don't like that in my eyeliner, but I will use it if nothing else is clean. Alright, now you do also have this option, which is like a thin paintbrush, which I actually did use for my liner today. You just kind of take it, and it's like basically painting on your liner with a thin brush. This is very similar to something that you'd get in a liquid liner. I don't use this all the time. I actually prefer to use the slanted brush only because I feel like that gives you more of a precise point. But if you really want to draw your eyeliner and be very precise, or you just want a thin line, then you would definitely want to use this. And the last one is this brush, which I have seen people use for eyeliner, just going straight across. I like to use this for smudging. It is actually a smudger brush, so you basically take it and you go like this underneath to smudge stuff and blend stuff out. You can also use it to blend out your upper eyeliner and stuff like that. This can also be used for highlighting because it is so flat. This is really a universal brush. If you get one that's flat and just like this, love it. It is basically this, but flat, if you can imagine that. Then there is the almighty spoolie brush, and this is just things you can get like really cheap. I think you can pick them up like at Ulta, really cheap, maybe even Sephora, even free sometimes. This one I got in a kit, and this is for your eyelashes. It's basically a mascara brush without any mascara on it, or you can use it for your brows, to comb your brows up and then over to shape them, or for brow gel or whatever you want to use it for. This is like a must-have because you will just need it. It's awesome. And this is an eyebrow brush, which I don't actually use, but I have 3 of them for some reason. It has like a brush on this end and then a comb on this end, so I like to use this for brushing up my eyebrows, and then the comb is to kind of brush them up as well if you want to trim them. This is also for working material in. I don't personally use these. I don't know anybody that really uses these, but yes, that's what you use them for, in case you're wondering. That's pretty much it. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and yeah, I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye!
Okay, I guess I'll start. I absolutely love it. I don't feel like it steals too much of my product. My lord, this is so fluffy. It's so fluffy. Don't mind me, I'm just being gorgeous. So many brushes, like literally. Guys, why do I have so many brushes? Why do I need so many brushes? What is wrong with me? Why do I have so many brushes? Tell me. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. So many brushes. So many brushes. Hey. Fun. Of course, this is what you use a fan brush for. Duh. Y'all are stupid. New brush for your face. It all works. Bye guys. I love my wings. My hair is like just not feeling it today. I slept with it slightly in a braid yesterday, and it turned out like kind of frizzy and wavy, so yeah, not feeling my hair. But yeah. Complications with mini rings. Anyways,